Courtney Taylor, and I am about 8 days out from my first show, the NPC West Coast Classic.
Don't touch me!
What is going on? What are you gonna get this mad at me when I'm apologizing to you?
It was very toxic. I saw proof with my own eyes. I heard calls.
Decide whether or not you're done, Catherine.
I am mad that you told me to come.
Decide right now.
I can't feel my arm. One man, but my boyfriend is dying of a stabbing. Ma'am.
Yeah, you should go. Because you just killed your boyfriend. Yeah, you did.
We are charging 26-year-old Courtney Taylor Clenny with 1 count of second-degree murder in Christian's death.
The world as we know it today is completely different from how it used to be just a few years ago. And I mean this in the broadest sense. The growth of the internet, along with different social platforms, has meant that people now have different ways of making money and earning a living. One such platform is Onlyfans, the adult entertainment platform where people, or models, can earn a considerable living by simply sharing their content and materials with the world to their countless followers. Courtney Clenny was one of the thousands of models on Onlyfans, and with over 2 million followers and earnings in excess of $3 million, she definitely seemed like she was at the very top of her game. From the outside looking in, Courtney had a perfect life. She was a blonde bombshell, incredibly wealthy, and making a killing on OnlyFans. However, in April of 2022, Courtney's entire life was suddenly upended when she was accused of killing her live-in boyfriend, Christian Obumseli. For the past year and change, Courtney, as well as her family and a slew of other people, have been in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. So, what happened here? How did Courtney go from being a top earner on OnlyFans to fighting for her life in court? Let's break down what we know about the OnlyFans murder case in this video. Courtney Clenny was born on April 21, 1996, to her parents Ken and Deborah. Her family initially lived in Texas, where Ken worked in finance. So it's pretty safe to say that the parents definitely had the resources to take care of Courtney and her sister, Morgan. From all accounts, Courtney and Morgan didn't exactly lack anything growing up, and by the time she was in high school, she had already become involved in a variety of physical activities, including soccer, gymnastics, volleyball, and horseback riding. She was also a fan of dance and theater, which she reportedly began taking classes for at just the tender age of 13. Moving forward a few years, Courtney had taken physical fitness even more seriously. She became a qualified personal trainer, and she even won several awards at competitions in the space. It would appear she was a bright and active young lady who had her entire future ahead of her. Realizing that maybe school wasn't the right fit for her, Courtney eventually dropped out of college and chose to focus her energy on other endeavors, particularly fitness and social media. It was around this time that she noticed that her gym photos, which she shared constantly on social media, started to get a lot of attention and traction on the social media websites. She soon began giving interviews, heading to events, and she even had a feature in Playboy. She might not have known it at the time, but Courtney was stepping into the world of adult entertainment little by little. But so far, it was mostly limited to being Instagram famous and chasing the likes. Well, all of that would change when OnlyFans was founded in 2016 and chasing likes turned into chasing dollar signs. All of a sudden, young girls who had become popular on social media platforms for their looks and appeal found a new golden opportunity to cash out, if they were just willing to explore their sexuality a little bit more. And for Courtney, it was game on. With her newfound fame, Courtney was absolutely killing the game. She reportedly broke out on OnlyFans almost immediately after she joined. By 2020, she had amassed over 1 million followers and had crossed $1 million in annual earnings on the platform. She followed that up with an even more stellar 2021, where she earned a reported $1.8 million. All of this to say that combined with opportunities to work as an ambassador with major brands, Courtney was making a name for herself. She had fame, fortune, and success, and her family appeared to have been supportive of her. Her industry and lifestyle might not necessarily be what many people aspire for, but you've got to admit it. This young lady wasn't doing badly at all. You might think that the only thing missing for Courtney was love. Well, in 2020, she appeared to finally find it. Affectionately named Toby, Christian Obumseli was born on April 12, 1994, in Nigeria. His family eventually moved to the United States when he was young and was raised in Dallas, Texas. During his time at Murphy Middle School, Christian excelled in sports. He had a passion for both basketball and football, and by the time he moved to Plano East Senior High School, he had gotten incredibly popular for both his skills and his lovable personality. Christian's football coach recalled him being a warm and caring man with an insane work ethic. He always wore a bright smile on his face and got along with just about everyone. Fast forward a few years where Christian eventually left school and developed a passion for business. Well, not business per se, let's say more specifically, a passion for money. Christian saw opportunities in cryptocurrencies at an early point, and he cashed in. At the same time, he was said to have taken a liking to stocks, and he seemed to be pretty good at trading as well. So the young man was pretty set for himself, earning exponential cash flow from the financial markets. Christian and Courtney met in 2020, and it was love at first sight. Within weeks, the two were already passionate about each other, posting pictures on social media and attending events together. Friends claimed that the couple were deeply in love with each other and that it seemed like they were made to be together. But a few months into the relationship, there was already trouble in paradise. Those who knew Christian before he met Courtney could sense that something had changed in him. The once goofy and friendly big guy suddenly grew cold and distant, and it seemed like something was wrong. Well, something indeed was wrong. Courtney was apparently not the best girlfriend, with people claiming that she was incredibly possessive of Christian. She'd reportedly get upset at the slightest things, and she also apparently didn't mesh well with his friend group. Over time, people started to notice that things were getting physically rough between Courtney and Christian. It started with her hitting him on the chest and shoulders, but before long, things got much, much worse. With Courtney's career still blossoming, Christian decided to take on the role of her personal assistant. Maybe he figured helping her would be a better way of smoothing things in the relationship, or maybe he just enjoyed the job. Whatever it was, Christian became Courtney's Boy Friday. The problem, of course, was that working as Courtney's assistant meant that he was always around, and whenever she got in a bad mood, he got the brunt of it. The fact that Courtney had also become a frequent presence at the bars and clubs in town meant that she was drinking more. And as you can imagine, alcohol isn't necessarily what you'd recommend for someone dealing with an inability to channel anger issues. Soon enough, Courtney's erratic behavior started to have real consequences. She was booked on 2 separate DUI charges, and in early 2021, the police were called after she had thrown a glass at Christian Head in their Vegas hotel room.
What's going on today?
Things got blown out of proportion, like to the max.
Have you ever been cited or arrested before?
Yes,
For what?
in the DUI.
So, why am I here? What's going on?
My boyfriend and I just got into like a loud argument
So you called once again for what? Why did you call for help?
because we were getting really loud. We were getting loud, and I was like, "Oh my god, we're gonna like do damage to the room or something." Not damage to each other. Like I really want to like.
Why would you
highlight
think
that.
Why would you think that you were gonna do damage to the room?
I like throwing something or like.
Did you throw something?
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
Did anybody throw anything?
No.
So why would you think that there is damage to the room to be made?
Because I've done that before in our house, and I.
What have you done?
Thrown a glass at him, plate.
Did you throw a glass or a plate at him today?
No.
Okay. So if
No,
I
this is before.
Okay, so when I go to the room and I see a broken glass on the floor, where did the glass come from?
I don't know. I literally couldn't even remember how the Fight started.
Okay, well,
Was there?
yeah.
Maybe I did.
Okay.
I'm being completely honest with you. I feel like my brain is scrambled eggs right now.
Did anybody punch, hit, spit, throw anything at each other? Did he hit you or you did at him?
Well, I'm guessing that I threw a glass, but that sounds like me. So. Oh, by the way, I just want to say, somebody mentioned earlier about there being a chair on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That was there. I don't know why we hadn't picked it up. That had nothing to do with the fight. We weren't throwing furniture at each other.
Courtney was held in custody overnight for this, and despite his injuries, Christian refused to press charges and even begged for his girlfriend and boss to be released. The couple eventually decided to move out of Texas and head somewhere where they'd be able to get a fresh start. Christian was keen to move to London, but Courtney was more drawn to the sunny beaches of Miami. Want to guess where they eventually moved to? To the city that never sleeps, Miami. In January 2022, the couple finally hit the Sunshine State. Courtney was still raking in the cash from her modeling career, and the two settled into Unit 2201 of 3131 Northeast 7th Avenue, an apartment with 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a breathtaking view of Biscayne Bay. As an Onlyfans model, Courtney's popularity reached astronomical levels in Miami. And as you can imagine, her behaviors reached new levels too, rock bottom. In an episode of the We in Miami podcast, she openly claimed to be toxic and to love only rich black guys.
I'm Courtney Taylor, and I do OF for a living.
Onlyfans. You got 1 million followers or something?
2 million.
Damn. You look like the type of girl that only dates rich guys. Is that true?
No, that's not true. I only date black guys. Especially black guys. Especially black guys. Let me clarify. I only date rich black guys.
Rich black guys. There we go. And you know you're toxic.
Yeah.
You can tell she like black guys. It's especially black guys. For all you watching, I'm with it. Do you like to be fully controlled, or do you?
I like to be submissive. Yeah, in the bedroom. Yes. But in my life, I don't like anybody to tell me what to do.
Yeah, so you only want them to tell you what to do in the bedroom. Other than that, you don't want them to tell you anything.
Right. That's exactly it, yes.
Mm. This was a woman who was not subtle in any way about her toxicity or her general behavior. She knew what she was doing, and she was more than happy to tell the world who she was. Courtney's behavior was so terrible that she reportedly would lash out at Christian at any chance she got. On one occasion, she smashed up her entire apartment, then demanded that he leave the house. The funny thing is that Courtney admittedly knew her behavior was terrible, but instead of just changing, she'd acknowledge that she was wrong, shower Christian with gifts, and go right back to doing the same thing. Just check out this instance, where Courtney consistently attacked Christian while in an elevator. It's obvious that Courtney is the aggressor here, and as much as she constantly attacks Christian, all he does is try to push her away and contain her. Still, despite the constant aggression, Christian never charged Courtney or called the police on her. In fact, he'd go out of his way to defend and protect her whenever any potential legal issues arose. It's unclear whether he was doing this out of fear that he might also be implicated in her mess, but Christian never exposed Courtney to any potential legal or police problems. Even in texts, you'd see that Christian tried as much as possible to keep Courtney happy to the best of his ability, even while she continued being abusive to him.
The crazy thing about all of this is that yesterday, when you stabbed me in the leg and you saw how bad it was hurting me and I couldn't walk, I couldn't do and you were telling me I wish I could have taken your pain away. I wish it was me and not you. The next morning, I still woke up happy. I still gave you a good day even though my leg was hurting because my girlfriend stabbed me. So you're telling me you can't do the same thing the next day and say, whatever happened last night, today's a new day, because that's what I do for you. I woke up happy. I took you to Vegas to get your drove right back, helped you shoot, drank with you, did blow with you, just so you're having a great day. And I'm doing all of this while my leg hurts so bad. Did I make you feel like for stabbing me? No, I just sucked it up and hope tomorrow will be better.
If you decide to get security, call. I will tell them exactly what happened.
Hey, I'm sorry. If it's okay, can I come up? I know you said 5 minutes, but I've been in the restroom, my nose is bleeding, and the back of my head hurts. Like really hurts. I don't know if it was your hand or the phone, but I'm really dizzy.
I'm putting your stuff up. You can come get it when I say you can. Go to first aid.
They have to take me somewhere. My shirt was off walking through the casino so I wouldn't get blood on it. Can you open the door, please? And you were pounding the phone on my head when I was done. It's okay, but can you let me in? I don't feel good, please. Courtney, can you open the door? I don't feel good and there's a bump on the back of my head. Can you just let me in? I'll be on the couch while you're in the bed. I don't want my nose to bleed, and going back and forth downstairs to the restroom is making me nauseous. I'm getting anxiety and you know how I get. Can you please let me in? And help me, please? We don't need to say a word. I haven't ate and running on 2 hours of sleep and drugs. Please open the door. Courtney, I don't feel good. Open the door for real. This isn't cool. I have a lump on the back of my head and I'm dizzy and anxious. And I can't keep walking up and down when my leg hurts. Come on. Courtney, can you come get me? I'm not feeling too hot and I need to lay down with this ice pack. I can't see straight. I've been sitting in the restroom for an hour. Courtney, this is up. I have a lump on my head and I'm bleeding and have anxiety. Can you answer your phone? Courtney, can you let me in? You hit me in the face with the phone, then continue to hit the back of my head with the phone. Now I have a lump. I'm bleeding, throwing up, think I got a mild concussion and have anxiety. I slept in the restroom for 2 hours and I'm just beyond words. All I hope for is a better tomorrow. Can you let me in or not? I apologized before you said you were kicking me out and you spit on me. No matter how mad and tough gets, you don't treat the one that you love that way. State fairs tomorrow. Be ready.
Well, I'm sorry, Christian. I hope you're okay. I'm sorry for hitting you in the face and the back of your head and spitting on you. Is it right? No. You just pissed me the off, but I still love you. I don't know about the fair anymore. Maybe I'll have a change of heart after some rest. The latch will be off. I'm going to bed. Don't say anything until the morning. We can talk then. I just read these texts, and I'm truly very sorry for responding like that while you were in pain. I should have let you in clearly. I didn't realize you might have a mild concussion. I should have just come back with the medicine. I love you. I'll be back soon.
Through all of this, Christian and Courtney broke up and restarted their relationship several times. However, in March 2022, they reached an all-new breaking point. Courtney tried her best to kick Christian out, and things got so bad that she even asked her mum to stay with her for a week in the last month of March 2022. Courtney officially broke up with Christian in this period, while he spent days sleeping on a sofa in the foyer of the apartment. Her mother eventually returned to her home on April 1st, leaving the estranged couple to hash things out on their own. However, things did not get any better. The very next day, the police were called back to Courtney's apartment after the concierge called them following a heated argument between the couple. Throughout the encounter, Courtney seemed rather agitated. She was unsettled, and much of what she said contradicted what the concierge had already informed the officers.
We asked her, I said, do you want him to leave the property? She said no, she don't want him to.
I did not say that, I said
okay,
yes.
hold on.
No, but
Hold on, he's talking, then you talk.
Courtney went on to claim that she wanted a restraining order against Christian, even going as far as saying that he was threatening her life.
Right now, like, I have not always been a victim, but like right now I'm a freaking victim in the situation. I'm scared to go downstairs and let my dog.
Then says,
I want a restraining order against Christian Obumseli.
officers checked Clenny's apartment and Obumseli wasn't there. They let Clenny know that if he's been living in her apartment and has belongings there, they cannot kick him out. Also informing her that she's not being clear on what she wants.
You want this person to completely disappear from your life. At the same time, you have him in your apartment here for 2 months with a ton of stuff in here.
But I know.
Clenny goes back to her apartment. Officers then go to the employee who made the original call, telling him she never disclosed that there was violence that particular night.
When she came down, he went charging at her.
That's fine.
That's my whole.
Right, but she didn't mention none of that until she says she wants to do something about it, that's where we step in, where it's a criminal activity, but she needs to mention something about that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we can't do it.
At this point, the toxicity between Courtney and Christian was on full display for everyone to see. Now, we don't actually know what Christian's side of the story or his stance was in this entire thing. But according to Courtney herself, the couple actually got back together a few hours after this whole altercation. Then came the big one. The very next day, police were called once again into the apartment. And this time, it wasn't a normal 911 call.
Ma'am, listen to me. You need to stop screaming on the line and give me the address. I can't get my arm. 3101. I can't get my arm. What, ma'am? My boyfriend is dying of a stab. Ma'am, what is the address? What's that? What's the address? 3130 Northeast 7th Ave. Please, God, please. Come see my boyfriend. Is this a house, apartment, or a business? Baby, I'm so sorry. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Officers and paramedics were immediately dispatched to the location, and upon arrival, they found Christian in Courtney's arms with a visible stab wound in his chest. As they inspected the property, they found multiple pools of blood, suggesting that he had been bleeding for an extended period of time. There was blood in the bathroom, the master bedroom, on the balcony, and even in the kitchen. Following this, Courtney was told to stay outside of her apartment while the officers swept the apartment. Since she had already admitted to stabbing him, she was eventually taken to a local police department for questioning, while Christian was rushed to the hospital, where paramedics were in a race against time to save his life. Courtney's questioning took hours, but to save time, here are a few crucial moments.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to have a lawyer with you during questioning. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand each of these rights I've explained to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to talk to Christian today.
To who?
Christian.
Who's Christian? Oh,
the victim.
They haven't told me anything yet.
If I'm the victim, he's definitely the victim. What'd you say? This is like, I was sitting there in a freaking puddle of my boyfriend's blood, begging him to like, please not like, fucking give up on me. Like, man, like this shit is fucking serious. I don't think I'm necessarily in trouble, but like, I just would like to.
We just want to hear your side of the story and what occurred, so we can piece this together and come to an understanding. No?
Yeah, fortunately we weren't there, you were, so there's no better person to tell us than you.
And it took so long for, I honestly, it was such a blur.
Courtney claimed that she and Christian had actually made peace after the first police incident. And the next day, Christian was looking to take a walk to clear his head. That afternoon, Courtney mostly spent her time on YouTube and on Instagram Live, eventually wrapping up around 4:30 as Christian returned home with a sandwich. But this was where things started to go south once more. Courtney claimed that Christian had stopped sharing his live location with her. And since she had growing trust issues, this was a bit of a turning point. Christian eventually reshared his location, but when he asked Courtney to do the same, she refused. Now, this information is what Courtney alleges, but she claimed that Christian then grabbed her by the neck and started to get violent with her. To protect herself, she grabbed a kitchen knife and told Christian not to come any closer, but he didn't listen, and that led to her throwing the knife at him from a distance.
So you grabbed the knife?
Because I grabbed a knife. I grabbed a knife and I said, like, pretty much just like, don't get any close to me. And then, kill me, said something, kill me. And then I just like threw it. And I really
How exactly did you throw it? Did you just throw like that?
How many times?
No, how exactly did you throw it? Like you threw it like this, or kind of like you flung it at him overhead, or how did that?
Oh, I just flung it.
You just flung it over your head, or from
like this.
Okay. So from like beside your head.
Holding it, yeah. So not like like I'm holding it like this. This is not the knife. The
blade.
Right, the blade.
Okay.
I'm not. I for dang sure did not stab him. That would be insane. I mean, I didn't even think that this would touch him.
Interestingly, Courtney also claimed that she hadn't had time to think about her story, which is pretty suspicious, considering that she was supposed to be truthful all through the interrogation.
If I could have been given all these questions, I could be like, maybe let me think about it. Or when I'm trying to remember a whole situation of where I was very upset about something, which I've learned this in therapy and whatever. It's like, write down all the details so you don't forget. Just write it all out clearly so it makes sense to you and makes sense to somebody else. But I haven't had a chance to have a pen and paper or my phone to write down exactly what happened. And I haven't even fully thought about it.
Yeah.
So honestly, my answer is I don't remember.
Weirder still, she downplayed the police call that occurred 2 days prior, claiming that the apartment concierge really just wanted to blow things out of proportion and cause trouble.
But that just didn't happen. So it's he moved from Christian to me. It seemed like he just wanted to cause trouble.
Yeah.
So the police were involved yesterday when there shouldn't have been.
I mean, this was pretty damning. On the initial police call, it was obvious that Courtney wasn't keen on the police getting involved, and she changed her tune multiple times, leading everyone to believe that something was indeed going on. Then here she was, downplaying the entire incident as if it didn't happen. About 2 hours after the interrogation, it was revealed that Christian didn't make it. Shortly after 5 p.m. that day, he tragically passed away from his injuries.
So, we have to inform you that Christian did not make it. Okay. Unfortunately, the doctors did what they could. And
Christian is dead.
Yes.
Oh my God. This is not real, right? Okay. There's no fucking way. Christian died? Can I please have a hug? Am I allowed to do that in here? No. I've been crying so much, and I just can't even cry right now.
Just take deep breaths. It's a shock.
Following the news, Courtney was voluntarily taken to a psychiatric ward for evaluation under Florida's Baker Act. But strangely enough, she was allowed to go just 2 days later. Apparently, investigators believed that what had happened between the two was no more than a domestic dispute, and that Courtney had acted out of self-defense. Naturally, this devastated Christian's family. And believe it or not, while this news was still fresh, Courtney was already back to her old life, drinking, partying, and Onlyfans. While Christian's family was trying to raise money for his funeral, Courtney was splashing cash, splurging a cool $1.4 million on a new home in Texas. Is that a way someone grieves the death of someone, or the way a cold-blooded killer acts? Whatever you might call it, this ordeal had a massive impact on Courtney. She was already drinking and using drugs, but after Christian's death, she went into overdrive. Soon enough, she was admitted to a rehab facility in Hawaii, where she was treated for substance abuse and PTSD. While Courtney was away, however, the story was quietly building momentum. And on August 10th, 2022, Courtney was arrested on charges of second-degree murder. The prosecution had stated that it waited so long to arrest Courtney because it took time to convince a judge, and it was waiting until all the right evidence was complete. And boy, was the evidence complete. From the video of Courtney attacking Christian, to the multiple letters and texts between them, and even a charge for domestic battery from July 2021, the prosecution was able to build a very strong case against Courtney Clenny. Many mutual friends also testified that Courtney had indeed been abusive towards Christian, and that he only ever tried to be the peacemaker between them because he loved her. The most damning piece of evidence to date has been the report from the medical examiner, which concluded that, contrary to what Courtney said, Christian's death couldn't have been caused by a knife thrown at a distance. It was also discovered that Christian's knife wound measured about 8 centimeters, meaning that the attack must have happened at close range.
Based on the information you received that the defendant was alleged to have thrown this knife, do your observations support that?
I'm not an expert in knife throwing. If the person who supposedly did this is an expert knife thrower, and the knife is the type of knife that you can throw, I guess that could have happened.
Did you receive any information that the defendant was a knife thrower?
No.
So based on that fact that you did not receive that information, would it support that?
No.
And what would you expect to see a knife do if someone just flung it at somebody?
Throw it the way a knife thrower throws it?
No, someone
Just,
that's not a knife thrower.
it would just hit the body and bounce off.
Now, as a result of this case, did you come to a cause, or did you make a determination as to the cause and manner of death?
Yes.
Could you please explain this report?
The cause of death was stab wound of right subclavian artery. The manner of death was homicide.
I have no further questions.
While Courtney herself claimed that she had acted in self-defense after being grabbed by Christian, there were no visible marks or injuries on her body during her interrogation. As the case has dragged on, the evidence against Courtney, which shows her history of violence against Christian, has only continued to pile up. For instance, it appeared that while he was alive, Christian was able to take several secret recordings. In one of them, Courtney could be heard racially abusing him and talking down to him for speaking to another woman.
Shut up and let me slap you, dumb.
You're not gonna slap me.
Give me my phone.
You have your phone.
You literally talked to her without telling me.
Courtney, I was on a bike ride and she passed me and I said hi. You and Courtney are having a live chat. My bad, I forgot to tell you that. That doesn't make you to act and call me a
You're a
Yes, thank you. Coming from Courtney, thank you.
I want you to get away from me.
In another recording, Christian captured the two arguing, and you can just see how Courtney's demeanor and tone changed when he mentioned that she hit him.
Decide whether or not you're done, Beth.
I am mad that you told me to come.
Decide right now.
Courtney, that's a word. I asked you so many times that I don't know, and I apologize, but you hit me.
Shut the up.
Courtney's attorneys initially filed a motion to block all evidence in the trial from being released to the public, but that didn't succeed. They also filed a motion to block any evidence secretly recorded by Christian from being used in the trial, a motion that was also denied by the judge. Fast forward to 2024, and the evidence against Courtney just continues to pile up. Her parents have even been brought into the trial, and the prosecutors are pretty confident that they can get a conviction. With this being Florida, if found guilty, Courtney could get a minimum of 16 years and 9 months behind bars. It's already one of the most high-profile cases in the country, so all eyes will be on it for sure. Stay tuned to our channel as we continue to follow this case closely. As we unravel the mysteries of true crime, your support drives us forward. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay with us as we delve into the darkest corners of true crime. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay curious, and keep chasing cases.